Hello everyone and welcome to Chip and Chase, the NRL Fan Podcast, episode 11. My name is Steve and this is Dave. Hey Dave.
G'day, Stevie. How are you, mate?
Doing well, and yourself?
Yeah, fine, thanks. Not too bad for a Monday.
That's good. Yeah, well, this is episode 11, as I said. We're going to be covering the round 9 results of the 2022 NRL season before previewing the games for Magic round 10 of the season. All the games played at Suncorp Stadium there in Brisbane. So, but we'll get into what was an interesting round of rugby league in round 9 with some fairly interesting results, some surprises, some walkovers, but some quickly, just in some signing news, I saw today that the Rabbitohs confirmed that they have signed Nikorima immediately.
Yes, yep. I also witnessed that. So wow, that's a good little pickup for you, Steve. I'll be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, Cody's not a bad player. I don't know where they'll be using him or how they'll be using him, whether he'll play like the Benji Marshall type role as a mentor off field, and come on as a kind of that 14th man type, versatility about him, player. Or whether or not they're looking at, not happy with Ilias the way he's been playing and put Nikorima in at half. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what the Rabbitohs do there with that new purchase.
The good thing with him is he actually can be quite a utility player. So there's a couple of positions he can fill in there for you guys. Especially
with State of Origin coming up and Cookie looking like he'll probably retain his number 9 spot for the Blues.
There you go.
Nikorima could be a stand-in hooker. So wait and see what happens there. But let's go through the round 9 results. And speaking of the Rabbitohs, I was bitterly disappointed in their round 9 matchup against the Broncos, beaten 32-12 in what was a woeful performance by the Rabbitohs. And Reynolds was a masterclass, showed obviously against his old club why they should have kept him and knew everything they were doing and preempted everything they were doing. But South Sydney, with so many drop balls, so many squandered opportunities, just looked like a team that really had no answers or kind of any impact in their attack whatsoever.
Yeah, man, look, I didn't really see this coming. I knew it was going to be a tight match between with Reynolds at the Broncos now. He was going to make some sort of a difference, but I didn't see this coming. I was, look, even just as a normal supporter, I was a bit disappointed in the Rabbits' effort. Gee, isn't Walker struggling a bit, Steve?
Yeah, and he's getting really flustered and aggravated. There was a point there where South handed over the ball right on the goal line, so it was not a bad position to hand over the ball, and then instead of getting up and just getting to marker, he kicks the ball away frustrated and gives a penalty away, and then Broncos go down the other end of the field and score. So it was a really disappointing performance by one of what you would expect to be one of the leaders of the team. Guys like Totola dropping the ball from just simple hit-ups. Unfortunately, their Taff dropping the ball from a bomb. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot, and the Broncos took full toll.
Look, with Cody, it's interesting because he still does a lot of things right. I mean, he had 2 try assists in that game. Mm-hmm. So, but he just I don't know, mate. He does more silly things than good things of late. So I really think he just needs to take a step back and take a breath, man, and try and relax a little bit more while he's playing. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Enjoy his footy a bit more. But it was 5 tries to 2 in front of nearly 10,000 crowd there at Accor Stadium. That's the second time the Broncos have beaten the Rabbits in these first 9 rounds. We played them in round 1. Reynolds wasn't playing that game, but they still got the cookies, the chocolates that time. But here they go again, beating us. And it was a poor performance, as I said, by South. They were only behind 12-6 at half time, but could only manage 1 try in the second half while the Broncos went on and piled on a couple of more tries. So, disappointing.
Yeah, I thought Tane Milne had a decent game for the Rabbitohs. Mm-hmm. Blake Taff made a couple of mistakes, but I thought he was also kind of strong in that game. What about Selwyn Cobbo, Steve?
Yeah.
Mate, who does he remind you of?
Yeah, he's very much a GI, young GI.
Yeah,
or even
Hodjo. He reminded me
really?
of Hodjo when he started out. You know what I mean? Just a big, strong frame and real young and fast. So he had a massive game, Selwyn Cobbo. with that runaway try too, like where he just pushed Johnson off and kept going the whole way, I thought that was a really good effort. As you said, Adam Reynolds was instrumental for the Broncos, and yeah, look, good win by the Broncos, and I think that might give him some more confidence to go into next week with another win. So we'll see how they go.
Then we move on to the second game of the round, which was the Raiders up against the Bulldogs. This wasn't the most spectacular of games to watch. There was 12,890 down there in GIO Stadium in Canberra. The Bulldogs really don't offer much at all. Matt Burton scoring their lonely try. And Raiders were 10-0 at half-time, managed an extra try in the second half. Jared Croker came back, sadly dislocated his shoulder once again, popped right back in, but he can't win a trick, the poor fella, but he would be happy with his Raiders getting a win, as would Sticky, the coach.
Yeah, look, both teams came into this one with 2 wins and 6 losses for the season, so pretty even match up here coming into this game. Mm-hmm. It was look, man, for these lower teams, everything's getting must-win for them at the moment. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. They're at that point where if they're going to make a run for the 8, then they definitely need to start doing it now. And Bulldogs, while there are glimpses of things that can go right for them, for the most part, they just don't seem to be able to click together, haven't gelled yet.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with them. Look, you said Matt Burton. The kid doesn't stop. He was trying his ass off all game, and it wasn't even till like the last 15 minutes where Dogs looked like they had anything. The first 60 were very disappointing from them. But yeah, Jeremy Marshall-King racked up a massive 45 tackles for the Dogs.
So I actually rate him, but as a player, like he does really well from dummy half. He's finds some gaps up behind the ruck.
He's good.
He never lets you down. Like, you might make a few errors or give away a few penalties from time to time, but it's not from lack of trying.
Yeah, and I think, look, Raiders needed that at home. I think they lost their last 3 at home or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so need to make GIO Stadium a bit of a fortress once again. And Frawley had a great first half. He was just in everything and just was on fire. So well done to Matt Frawley. All right, so then we push on to the next game of the round, and that was the one that you were very happy with. The Eels up against the Panthers at Bluebet Stadium in Penrith in front of a great crowd of 21,348. And sellout crowd. It seems to be every week at Penrith there's a sellout crowd there. 22 to 20. Parramatta played very patient in this game. It was to and fro. It was anybody's game. Penrith were classy as always, but Parramatta just seemed to be a little bit more resilient. Their defence, especially on their goal line, was really impressive, and they just came over them at the top there. It's 10-all at half time, so it's still anybody's game at the 40-minute mark. But as I said, Parramatta very patient. Clint Gutherson, just an awesome fullback, just never stops, gives 110% all the time.
He's the king, mate.
And you could see why Dylan Brown deserves to be at 5'8". He just offers so much more around the ball when he's closer to the action. And it was a really good game by the forwards. I thought Ryan Madison, when he came on, he did a few silly passes, but geez, he was good when he came on, and some of his offloads and some of his runs really got Parramatta on the front foot.
Yeah, look, what a game this one was. The Western Derby, Friday night, the 8 o'clock game. This would have been a great spectacle for a supporter to be watching. So, even not following either of these teams. So, a real good effort by both teams. Mate, it just, like you said, it was anyone's game. And it was just a really, really...
good tussle.
What's the word I'm looking for?
Tough tussle.
It was a tough tussle, and it was a classic game, man. Like, it was really good effort by both teams to stay in this.
Now, there was a couple of really interesting moments. There was that penalty try that we just saw that Reid Marnie was given, and I agree with that because he was held off before he even received the ball and got very close, so I think he would have probably scored. And then just before this try, what's his name? Viliami Kikau.
Yep.
Blatantly knocked on, and the referee and touch judges both missed it. Yep. They go down a couple of tackles later. Kickout puts that little grubber kick in, and they score. that was really poor. I believe in the media, Benji Marshall was filthy about that, allowing that kind of thing to happen in this day and age in the NRL with all the cameras and all the facilities that we have, and the referee and these touch judges, with so many eyes now on what's going on. For that to be able to be missed was really poor, and thankfully for Parramatta fans, it didn't affect the result.
Thanks for bringing that up, Steve. I actually wasn't even going to say anything about that, and I'm still not going to. No comment there, because this is a family-friendly show, so
We want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Sorry, just back to the... there was a massive hit, I don't know if you saw it, by Dylan Edwards.
Yes.
On Isaiah Papali, where he absolutely flattened him. I thought that was a great spectacle. And we just saw the Gufferson tackle on Cleary, where he absolutely laid him out when he had made that break, which I thought both of them were really great tackles. So good work there.
What about Dylan Brown's face in this try? He was like, smiling, and whoop, there's
man. It's just like... He's still got the try, and that's all that matters. Good on the young kid. He had a stellar game, and hopefully we'll see a lot more from him. It's going to be interesting because I believe Melbourne and Panthers are up next.
That's right, they do. So that Parramatta ended the run of the Panthers there.
Panthers.
Their winning streak comes to an end, but well done to the Parramatta Eels for their victory. All right, then, next up was the Manly versus Tigers game. This was a high-scoring affair, played at 4 Pines Park in Brookvale, 36-22. Manly winning this game on the Saturday night in front of the 17,385 fans, 7 tries to 4. To their credit, Tigers never do give up, but again, Manly showed their class with the Trbojevic brothers playing, all three of them together for the very first time in the NRL. The younger, he's the younger brother of the three. Ben Trbojevic scoring a double, and you could tell that his brothers, especially Jake, were very, very proud. He said it about 700 times in his post-match interview about how proud he was, and well done to Ben.
How cool were their reactions as his brothers? Like, it was nice to see three brothers playing alongside. I don't think we've seen that in quite some time now.
Probably since the Burgess boys,
three of them. Since the Burgess boys, yep. Since
four
the Burgess
of them.
boys, they were probably the last ones. Great day for footy down at Brookvale, and it was also a sold-out crowd, which is really good to see. I thought the star of the show was Ben, like you said, little Ben Trbojevic. And, geez, didn't Daly Cherry Evans step up and have a massive game, Steve?
He did, indeed. He always seems to fire at Brookvale, especially with his kicking game. He's just a very solid performer.
I noticed Saab was out too. I saw him the other day. He's in a moon boot. So, he's out for 3 to 4 weeks. I had no idea until I saw the
team list.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, Manly fans happy with that victory, 36-22, as I said, over the West Tigers, who
can't catch a trick.
No, we'll add a couple of good wins back to back against the Eels and the Rabbitohs, but that was it for now. We'll wait and see how they continue to perform moving forward. All right, next up for round 9 was the Roosters trouncing the Gold Coast Titans on the Saturday at BB Print Stadium in Mackay. This was 5,500 fans, one of those stadiums. It doesn't fit much more than that, but not that many of the Roosters or Titans fans would travel out to Mackay necessarily, but those locals got to see 8 tries to 3 by the Roosters, with Sawali getting a double, Tupu getting a double, Tedesco getting a double, a hat-trick, actually. Yes, you're right. So, the backs there for the back three for the Roosters getting pretty much all their tries, other than Takiaho also getting one. And Sam Walker was in rich vein with the boot. He got 5 out of his kicks, with then Paul Momorowski coming in because of Sam Walker having a bit of a leg injury, kicking a goal as well. And Lindsay Collins copped a sin bin in this one as well. But the Titans, they are looking pretty poor. They don't really offer much at all. It's a pretty disappointing. You can see their coach there in the box just wondering where to go to next. Yeah.
Yeah, look, wow, Titans are going downhill fast, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just at the beginning of the season, you thought they're going to have something this season, and just slowly slid away every game. Nothing taken away from the Chooks. The Chooks absolutely walloped them. They were going 100 miles an hour. They were relentless, and they had no mercy, that's for sure.
That was the Colin sin bin there, the shoulder to the head. He might have something to answer for there with the judiciary. We'll wait and see, but
I don't think there was much in that.
No, but just a bit of and a bit of a shoulder charge. Didn't really wrap the arms around, but
gee, how good was Tedesco?
Yeah, his running game has come back. He was last year a bit more of a ball handler, a bit more of a ball distributor because of the injuries that they had. But this year he slotted back into just being his running game, and Suwali also showing the power of why they brought him and chased him so hard, getting him from the Rabbitohs juniors.
He had a great game, man. I thought Sam Walker really stood up in that game too. And
he did.
Made a lot of good plays.
Yeah.
Look, just a little stat here. The Titans missed 40 tackles.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah, good luck to them coming back this season.
Yeah, indeed. They'll need a lot of hard work a lot of missed tackles there, so things that they need to work on. Another team that has a lot to work on is the Titans, Newcastle. The Cowboys thumping them there, 36-16, 6 tries to 3. This was played at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville in front of 14,463 fans. Newcastle led 16-12 at half time, but that's the tale of their year, is that they cannot string an 80-minute performance together. They just play for 40 minutes, 60 minutes, or whatever it might be. This one was a bit dubious. I thought it might have been a bit of a double movement there, but all in all, Cowboys just keep surprising fans. They're still sitting pretty up there in the top 4, and Newcastle, talk about another coach who just doesn't have any answers. He's sitting in the box just massaging his head, wondering what the hell is going on with this team.
Definitely, yeah. Look, real lackluster second half from the Knights. I'm almost getting depressed talking about this team because they just can't seem to find anything. Doesn't matter how hard they train or how hard they get it together during the week. It's just, as you said, mate, it's a game of 80 minutes, and if you can't compete on every play to the last second, then you're going to have a rough old year. Ruben Cotter made 41 tackles. Jason Taumalolo run for 181 metres and 1 try, so massive game by him. Scott Drinkwater was highly involved again, which was good to see.
Yeah, and it was with a big thumping bruise under his eye too. Copped a bit of a knock there, and this was a lucky bounce off the goalpost there for one of the Saifidi brothers. But and Ponga tried hard, but yeah, they can't play as a team, can't put it together, and yeah, it's like they're looking over their shoulder for Ponga to do something every time, and he can't do it all on his own.
100%. I thought Jakey Townsend had a pretty good game too, so good luck to him.
Yeah, so well done to the Cowboys. A good performance there by them. And then in the 7th game of this round, it was the Melbourne Storm putting on another masterclass against the Dragons, who up until this point in the season had been looking like they were doing pretty well, had beaten the Roosters, they were stringing along nicely. But 11,700 fans there at Amy Park in Melbourne saw a 7-try-to-1 thrashing for a 42-6 scoreline, as I said. And Pappenhausen was on fire up until he did himself a bit of a hamstring injury, which is a bit of a concern for the Storm. They came out of this one with a few problems as far as injuries are concerned.
Yeah, man. Storm just get on a run, and they are one of the hardest teams to stop in the league. Yeah,
with the momentum swinging their way, they just know how to continue on.
Yeah, just nothing seems to faze them. Everything works for them. This is a great try by Meany, by the way. Showed good toe here, and he had to do a bit of work to get through at the beginning there. Look, definitely a lopsided game. It was a thrashing, and as a spectator, good luck to Melbourne, but you want to see a competition, Steve. You know what I mean?
Well, it was 12-0 at half time only. So again,
Yeah, I
here's another
realise that.
team. Here's another team that just could not play for the full 80 minutes or couldn't go the full 80 minutes. And there's Pappenhausen doing his hamstring as he scored that
Yeah.
try. So it'll be interesting to see how many weeks that he's out for, how bad the hamstring injury is. But they can cover their positions pretty well. I mean, Meany could easily go back to fullback for him if needed. Yeah,
It's
Dragons.
great to see a Melbourne run their like training drills and score tries and that, but just as a spectator, man,
Yeah.
you want to see a good competition every game. You know what I mean?
do.
Something close, something worth playing for, and this was dead 10 minutes into the second half. So
Yeah, well done to Melbourne.
well done, Melbourne.
Yeah. So then the final game of the round was the Sharks up against the Warriors. This was an exciting game to watch. It was 12-10 at half time to the Sharks, and then the Warriors, just again another team that cannot play for a full 80 minutes. Their coach looked like he was going to jump out of the box. Nathan Brown?
Yeah,
And at 9,900 Sharky fans there at PointsBet Stadium saw the Sharks really enjoy their football. They just seem to be having a lot of fun out there. Nico Hines had a great game. Connor Tracy came back into the team, scored a double. And while Jesse Ramian was sent off, and then they had William Kennedy in the bin for 10 minutes, they were actually down to 11 men, Cronulla, but still managed to score tries.
just as you brought up the send-offs, then Will Kennedy got sent off, right?
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really seen the replay. I didn't get to see it. I saw
Properly?
it properly, so it's. Yeah, I mean, you've got to go with the referee on that one. But what did you
No,
think it was hard done by?
Look, I don't think it was hard done by. I think it was a send-off,
Hmm.
but later on in the game, Jesse Ramian, Steve, I don't know if you've seen it, but he done even worse, and it was a shoulder straight to the head. He nearly knocked this bloke out cold.
Yeah, this is a coat hanger, so there's that's pretty.
Yeah, it was much worse than that. That's still a bit of an accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know,
I
but
don't
yeah.
think Will Kennedy means to do this. If they show you the Jesse Ramian, anyway, he done it and nothing was said, man. And I just thought, if he's being consistent here, how does Will Kennedy get sent off for old school clothesline, which was mildly accidental, I reckon. And this bloke just attacked this bloke's head with his shoulder, nearly killed the bloke, and he wasn't sin binned or nothing.
Okay, well, Ramian did go in the bin at one stage, but not for that incident that you were obviously mentioning. But yeah,
wow.
the old
Okay.
if the old coat hanger, I
Coat
should
hanger.
say, it's not something we see that much in the game anymore. So it's when it looks spectacular, probably a bit of an overreaction.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the case there, but all in all, like I said, the Sharks just very resilient. They looked like the team that had extra men on the field, and the Warriors just looked like they were gassed so quickly. And yet they were the one with more players on the field for the majority of that game, and then even down to a 13 versus 11 at one point, and they still look gassed. So some problems there with the Warriors as far as their fitness is concerned.
Yeah. Look, man, I've got to say, Nico Hines and Matty Moylan, gee, they're really, really starting to form a really good combination there between the two of them. I thought they just took control of this game and just knew all their plays, knew what they were doing, and yeah. So congratulations to the two of them, who are looking like they're starting to play really good together.
Yep, indeed. So that was a good win by the Sharks there, 29-10. And that brings us to the end of that round, where we now have a look at where the ladder is. And this is what we've got to look at. We've got the Storm sitting on top in first place for the first time this year on points for and against, with a massive plus 225 compared to the Panthers' 148. The Cowboys still sitting in third, equal on 12 points, with the Sharks, who have leapt over the Eels into fourth spot. The Eels sitting fifth, and then you've got the Roosters, Manly, and the Broncos in the top 8. Rabbitohs drop out of the 8 on 8 points, with the Warriors and the Dragons, and then you've got Canberra sitting on 6 points. And then at the bottom of the table, all on 4 points, you've got the Tigers, the Titans, the Bulldogs, and now the Knights sitting last.
The cellar dwellers.
The cellar dwellers, indeed. And some interesting matchups because you've got some teams playing each other who are on the same points or at the same position on the ladder coming this week. And talking about this week, let's have a look at Magic Round and see where things are at. And first up, as I said, the bottom of the table, the cellar dwellers, we start with the first game of round 10, Magic Round. As I said, everything played at Suncorp Stadium. This is a Friday 6 p.m. matchup. The bottom of the table, Bulldogs versus Knights. What do you do here as far as tipping is concerned?
Well, it should be exciting because they're both as shit as each other. No, honestly, I'm looking for a good game here. They both need to be very desperate, both these teams, this match.
True.
So I have to go with Dogs here. I think there's just way too much more talent.
Yeah, more class across the field.
Across the park, whereas Knights just keep on trying to rely on Ponga and it's not happening.
Yeah, so I think I'll go Doggies as well on that one. So Doggies for both of us there. Yeah. Then next up, game 2 of that round, Magic Round, another classic matchup, the Sea Eagles versus the Broncos, 7th versus 8th. So as I said, a lot of these games are of the same position on the table. This is the 8:05 p.m. kickoff on the Friday night. Obviously, while it's a Manly home game, if you like, being at Suncorp, the Broncos are going to have a much more parochial crowd there supporting them. And this is going to be a very tight game. Yeah. I just think maybe Manly, but pushing it to the 80th minute.
Look, I was about to go and say Broncos are going to beat Manly at Brookvale because I saw the logo there. But then I remembered, that's right, it's at their home all weekend. So I've already tipped Broncos. Even I thought they were going to upset them at Manly.
Okay.
So
now
I'll
you remember it's Magic
definitely
Round.
be tipping Broncos this round.
Okay.
With Adam Reynolds there, anything is possible, mate.
Okay, so we differ on that one. Next up, speaking of Adam Reynolds' old team, and I said, again, matchups. This is 9th versus 10th.
Wow.
This is the Warriors up against the Rabbitohs. The Warriors always have a good following up in Brisbane. They get a pretty good crowd up there, and Rabbitohs have pretty good crowds wherever they go. But this one should be interesting. This is the first of the Saturday afternoon games during the day.
Look, 3 o'clock?
Yeah, this has got to be Rabbitohs. I'm tipping them to bounce back. Warriors haven't been doing anything at all. They've been, as I said, looking very unfit. I can't imagine the South Sydney losing this game. If they do, you can rub out South for the year.
I'm tipping a Bunnies bounce back.
Very good. All right, next up after that, the 5:30 p.m. kickoff on that Saturday at Magic Round is the Titans up against the Dragons. This is probably, one of them. We're talking about matchups as far as where they are on the table. The Titans are not doing as well as the Dragons, but the Dragons have just come off a smashing from Melbourne, and the Titans have had a smashing of their own.
They can hurt you.
They can, but I think there's no real bounce back factor here. I'm going to tip the Dragons.
Okay. Mate, just being up in Queensland, I think Titans are due for a win, man.
Ooh, okay. So
I think Titans are really due for a win, even after the spanking that they got. And I think Melbourne damaged the Dragons for the next couple of games, to be honest.
Okay,
I'm going a Titans victory.
A mental thing there. Okay, Titans victory. All right, then. We'll differ on that one as well. Then the top of the table clash, the big one of the weekend, Melbourne against the Panthers. 7:45 p.m. kickoff on Saturday night. This will be a bumper crowd there, even if it is at Suncorp, with a lot of fans supporting a lot of the Melbourne boys because there are a lot of Queenslanders in that team. I'm thinking the Panthers are going to go back-to-back losses because I cannot see Melbourne, even without Pappenhausen, not being up for this game.
Okay, well, we're going to differ again.
Ooh.
Because I think that loss to Para probably brought them back down to earth. and they're going to be working very hard. They know who they're coming up against, and it's going to take to do it. So I'm tipping a Panthers bounce back here.
Okay, all right, there we go. And then the next game after that, the first of the Sunday games, 1:50 p.m. Sharks versus Raiders. Different positions on the ladder here.
What's this, like 4th versus 14?
No, 4th versus 12th, so you're not far off. Sharks victory for me.
Yeah, put me down for Sharkies, mate. They showed too much finesse and strength in that game to lose this one.
Yeah, agreed. All right, and then the 7th game, again a 4:05 p.m. kickoff on that Sunday, sees a 5th versus 6th. Roosters coming 6th, Eels coming 5th. This should be a cracker of a game. Roosters starting to come into some form. Eels having just come up off a high, beating the Panthers. You just hope that they can continue that form and not think, oh, we're world beaters, we beat the Panthers, how good are we? Because the Roosters can they can sneak up on you, and they're
100%.
still a very good team, even though they're not as great as they have been in past years. I'm still going to pick Parramatta here.
I agree, Steve. It's an awesome game. It's going to be an awesome game. Chook's coming off a massive win, and Para coming off a grindy win. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to tip my beloved Eels here, mate, to get another one.
Okay. And then we've got the last game of the round, the 6:25 Sunday kickoff. West Tigers 13th up against the Cowboys, who are sitting in 3rd spot. I cannot see anything but a Cowboys victory happening here.
Let's make it nice and fast. Put me down for Cows.
Okay, so there you have it. The Cowboys for both of us in the final game of the round 10 clash at Magic Round at Suncorp Stadium. Should be a really interesting weekend of rugby league. It's always kind of a bit of a festival feeling out there. Great atmosphere with the whole weekend of rugby league played at the same venue. So if you're in Queensland, get out there, enjoy the weekend. It is supposed to be raining all weekend, which is probably a disappointment.
At Suncorp?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So I'll wait and see what the weather and how that impacts on some of these teams and some of these games.
Could affect the tips now.
Could indeed. So enjoy your round of rugby league, Magic Round. Get out there if you can.
Magic Round, mate. Can't wait. It's like you said, there's a lot of close on the table clashes, which is good to see.
Yep.
A couple not so close, but all in all, there looks like there's going to be some cracker games for Magic Round this weekend.
Indeed. All right. Well, we finish off our podcast for this round 10 coming up, Magic Round. Hope you enjoy the rugby league. Support your team if you can. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks heaps, Steve. Thanks, guys. God bless you all.
Yeah, and thanks for continuing to listen to our podcast. Dave and I'll be back next Monday for our next Chip and Chase NRL Fan Podcast. See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.